Good morning. I'm Al, and we're back in the shop. I suppose you've noticed that I've done away with my intro. I don't think I need a big flashy introduction. But anyway, that being said, we're going to work on the mill today. You can see it here behind me. And this is the 16 horse V-twin Vanguard built by Briggs & Stratton. We're going to try to start it here in a minute, and I'm almost certain that it's going to need some carburetor work. Checking the oil and see what kind of shape it's in. I know I changed it before I ran it the last time, but that's been almost 2 years ago. I imagine the oil's not in too bad a shape. Yes, and that's a fact. It almost looks brand new. I am going to change it simply because it is old. It's probably not a good idea to run it too much on that. I've never had a trouble with this engine starting right up. So I think when it fires up, it'll fire up the very first time. So we'll give it a try and see what we come up with. If I had to bet, we're going to have to feed it. Give it a little throttle, a little fuel. You can't beat that right off the top. That's really encouraging. I see that from the fuel filter that the fuel pump is pumping, but obviously the jets and the carburetor are plugged up. We're gonna have to jump in there and rinse them out, do our best. We may have to take it off and soak it. I'm gonna take it off anyway, because to get to the jets on this, you have to pull off the shroud, you have to pull off the manifold to get to the back side of it. It's a project, but we'll get it taken apart. We'll do a time lapse on that so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Oh, the muffler's warm, that's working. I will admit that here in the past week I've done a little work on the mill, but I haven't videoed all that because I'm sure you know what it looks like when somebody grinds and sands and paints, and I didn't think you probably were terribly interested in seeing all that. So we're going to cut through all of the nonsense and get down to really working on this. But we're going to dig into that carburetor and see what we can do about getting it cleaned out. It may take more than I think, but we'll do a time lapse on it so you don't have to watch the whole thing in slow motion. Well, we're going to get into this a little bit and get the top taken off of it and see what we have inside. I did manage to tear one of the manifold gaskets getting it off. I don't know if I could salvage that or not, but we're going to try. That's not too bad. Be careful not to tear that gasket. Ooh, that's tight. It's coming off though. It's been on there for a long time. Not too bad. Well, we're gonna need a little sealer there. Get my hand out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Kind of cruddy on the inside. Yeah, that is really, really dirty inside. I'll put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and that's what happens. I'm glad I pulled that apart. That may be a challenge getting. I may end up getting a new carburetor for this one. I hate to say that. Hey, I got it. Okay, we got to get this one out. I think I know why it wasn't running. I may just end up ordering a rebuild kit for this, and if maybe just end up, wow, talking about a lot of junk. That is just lousy with, look at that. And that's with hardly even trying. Gee whiz. What would Derek say? Oof to me. Well, that's all we can do is try to clean it out. And that's not too bad that I can tell. Well, obviously the carburetor is going to need a lot of help. We're going to clean it out and see if we can't get things working a little bit better. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Take care, be safe. Thanks for watching. I would also like to thank the kind folks at Casco for helping me with this restoration. It means a lot.